Welcome back to another video where you ask me questions and I answer them. Alright, let's get going. Rootin' Tootin' Putin asks, arrow to Nazeem's throat or Warhammer to the yellow team champion's skull? Nazeem's throat. Because, honestly, he's more annoying than the yellow team champion. I know a lot of people hate the yellow team champion, but she's a lot easier to ignore, and you get your revenge on her in the end anyway. But Nazeem, there's no quest to get revenge on. You have to do it yourself, so I'm gonna do it. I love these names. Pig McOink asks, what province would you like to see in the next Elder Scrolls? I would love to see, I think, Elsewhere. I think that's what I'd like to see next. I made a video on it a little while ago talking about what I predict they're gonna do next. If you want to go check that out, you can. What I prefer to see, I think I'd prefer to see Elsewhere. I would be interested in seeing Valenwood. Valenwood is up on that list, probably Elsewhere first. And I have some interest in seeing Hammerfell. I think Hammerfell's a cool place, and we really didn't get to see it in all its glory in Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall. Austin Cole asks, I love how much effort you put into your content. Keep up the good work. Thanks, man. I'm glad that you appreciate it. Are you a fan of the new Disney era of Star Wars? And if not, why are you wrong? Well, it's better than the prequels. I don't really like The Force Awakens, mostly because I kind of feel insulted by it. I'm just indifferent. I'm really looking forward to The Last Jedi. I think that movie's going to be really good. I'm not looking forward to the movie after that, the Han Solo movie. It's not a movie I'm really interested in. Kakashi Uzumaki asks, have you ever played Oblivion with mods, and what are your favorite ones? Will you do Oblivion videos with mods installed, for example, playthroughs of quest mods? Potentially, yeah, in the future. Honestly, I haven't done a lot with mods in Oblivion, mostly just because I really enjoy the game as it is and don't really feel that there's anything I need to improve on it. And I really like all the quests that are in it. Like with Skyrim, I play with mods a lot just because I feel like there are things that are too clunky. There are things that don't really work very well. And I feel like a lot of the quests are not very exciting. So I get a lot of mods for Skyrim. But for Oblivion, I can redo those quests and still get plenty of enjoyment out of it. Bob Toad asks, what do you think of the main questline of Oblivion? It's okay. It's not the best storyline of all time, that's for sure. It's not terrible. I think the side quests, the side storylines in Oblivion shine a lot better than the main questline. Anarchic Spirit asks, did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell. SNBT Music asks, whoa, I want your shirt. Where do I get it? Oh, you mean the shirt I'm wearing right now? The Cantina shirt, you can actually get it at tpublic.com/user/thecantina. Or there's a link in the description. You can go down there and click on that and check that out there. So if you want a t-shirt, yeah, go for it. Insane06 asks, for Q&A, why are there two caterpillars eternally latched to the skin above your eyes? It's a curse, man. You know, Sydney Kirk asks, Greymane or Battleborn? I think both sides are stupid and they should go shove it up their butts. Foxhawk asks, hey, I enjoy your content a lot. Keep it up. Thanks, man. I definitely will. I know that you spend a lot of time on Elder Scrolls content. Are there other series of games that you like a lot and would consider covering in the near future? Actually, yeah, I do a lot of Elder Scrolls stuff, but I don't plan on doing just Elder Scrolls stuff. I plan on doing some other stuff. You may have seen at this point, I did a review of Middle-earth Shadow of War, and then I also talked about the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta, which a lot of people were ticked off about, probably because they don't want anyone saying that it's not going to be the best game of all time, which, look, I'll tell you right now, it's not going to be the best game of all time, okay? But I also still plan on doing lots of Elder Scrolls content, so don't worry too much about that. William Truder asks, will you ever Let's Play KOTOR or any Star Wars? P.S. I love your content and keep it up. If people want me to Let's Play KOTOR, then absolutely. KOTOR is an awesome game. It's just fantastic. And I usually replay that game roughly once a year. So it's about time for me to go back and play it. Actually, I think it's been over a year now since the last time I played it. So time is up for me to play it. So if you guys have any interest in me let's playing it, then yeah, I definitely would, because I love that game. Ethan Degenhart asks, what is your top 3 favorite games of all time? I actually plan on doing a top 5 of my favorite games of all time at some point in the future. I don't know when, but I do plan on doing it, so I'm not gonna spoil it yet, because then what would be the point of watching that video? You know, there'd be no point. Oh, I'm sorry if I mess up your name. Olga Griegel. Have you ever played Elder Scrolls Online? If yes, what are your thoughts on it? Yes, I have. I play it occasionally. I haven't played it in a little bit, but I do enjoy it. I'm kind of burnt out on MMOs, and it still is an MMO, but there's enough of it that feels sort of like an Elder Scrolls game that I can get into it and enjoy it without that MMO feeling too much. As for the story, which I think is really one of the more important things of an Elder Scrolls game, I feel like the story just isn't, it's just not as interesting in it. And maybe it's the way it's presented, maybe it's because it's an MMO, I don't know what it is. Jake Douglas asks, what's the highest level you've ever gotten in Oblivion? And have you ever done a Star Wars-based build? As for the first question, honestly, I have no idea. Probably, I don't know, probably not that high, because I don't really care about leveling too much. Especially how as it gets later, because leveling in Oblivion just makes everything else tougher, and it makes me not that as tough. I don't like feeling like I'm not improving, and that's how the leveling system makes you feel. As for the second question, yeah, I've definitely done a Star Wars-based build. Most of the time I do it in Skyrim, because then I can get mods, so I can get a lightsaber, and then I can run around and be like, hey, I'm a Star Wars guy. I haven't done it that much in Oblivion, but that's partly because I just kind of like, I like to fit into the world in Oblivion. In Skyrim, I don't really care about the world. Is that weird? I don't know. Darskull asks, do you think you'll ever do any Dragon's Dogma videos? I personally think that game is highly underrated. Also prefer the combat to any Elder Scrolls game I've ever played, and I like the story better than Skyrim's. Dragon's Dogma is an awesome game. As a matter of fact, I was just playing it a couple weeks ago when I had some free time. It's just such a fantastic game. Everything is so well done. The only real downside of Dragon's Dogma, well, I was gonna say the character models, but you know that really just adds to the weird charm of the game. But honestly, there really is no downside to Dragon's Dogma now I think about it. I'm sure there is if I really thought hard of it. But that's a fantastic game. As for doing any videos on it, I would like to, but Capcom, I believe that's who makes it, right? Yeah, Capcom, they don't play well with people on YouTube. They don't really care about fair use or copyright law in general, so you throw up a video and they'll copyright strike it, and there's nothing you can really do about it because that's the way things work. Deo Gaming asks, do you think Bethesda should make an Oblivion remaster? Yeah, I would really like to see an Oblivion remaster. Not a remake. I don't want to see a remake because I enjoy the way everything feels in Oblivion. I think for the most part, I mean, there are definitely issues with Oblivion, but I don't want to see them remake it. I don't want to see it become Oblivion in the Skyrim engine, because I prefer the way things work in Oblivion better to Skyrim. I would like to see a remaster. I think it'll get a lot of attention, and I think there'll be a lot more appreciation for the game than there is now. A lot of the people who came in with Skyrim kind of look back and they don't really have a great view on Oblivion and Morrowind. Mostly from what I can tell from the research I've done, it specifically has to do with the graphics. So I guess people just can't stand the graphics. Jeffrey F. asks, full-time YouTuber, less than 10,000 followers, how do you live while I make $65,000 a year and can barely afford to live in California, and I'm in Sacramento? Well, I would recommend moving to an area that never pulled itself out of the Great Depression. Knowles7902 asks, will you ever do The Witcher content? Potentially, if I find something to talk about in those games. I'm a big fan of them. Witcher 2 was a fantastic game. Witcher 3 is a fantastic game. I started with Witcher 2, and it made Witcher 1 a little bit difficult to get into, so I haven't actually played it. To be honest, I know, that's sacrilege. I've definitely considered doing stuff on it, so we'll see what happens in the future. Yuan Mango asks, what's your favorite Daedric artifact in Oblivion aside from the skeleton key? Because we all know it's the best. The Staff of the Everscamp. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want a t-shirt, make sure to go get one and then wear the t-shirt. Just like I'm wearing. What a coincidence. Also, if you have a question for me or I didn't answer a question you asked here, make sure to ask it again down in the comment section and I will attempt to answer it in the next video. Also, if you're interested in hearing my prediction for where I think Elder Scrolls 6 will take place, make sure to click on the link in the video here. I will see you guys there. Goodbye.